Okay, so as I said last time, I will record a discussion of this topic. Okay, the discussion last time has something to do with the philosophical dimension or the philosophical perspective of ethics. We've discussed the branches of the meaning of philosophy as the framework of our understanding of ethics. Okay, so now, what we will be discussing is something to do with the different perspectives of the nature of man. So we have here different philosophers who gave their understanding about uh, the ethical dimension of a human person. Okay, so we have here first the idea of John Locke. Okay, he mentioned that man is a thinking, intelligent being that has a reason and reflection and consider itself as itself at different times and places. So we need to consider two different points here. One is the reasoning ability of man and the reflective ability of man as well. Actually, John Locke mentioned that man is like an empty slate or a tabula rasa. It's as if that we have a zero knowledge the moment that we are born, and we only gain knowledge from the different stimulus that we get from the world. Okay, so that is his idea. But of course, behaviorists or theorists that would uh, promote behaviorism refuted John Locke's idea of tabula rasa. So according to them, we can gain different knowledge and information uh, from the different stimulus offered by the world. And the moment that we are born, we have a prior knowledge or schema. So going back to John Locke's idea of reasoning and reflecting, we are capable of reasoning out on things and at the same time logically and critically uh, think. And at the same time, we can reflect on different scenarios or reflect on experiences or past memories that we have. Also, we reflect because we want to know deeper ourselves, and we want to avoid the mistakes that we've committed and avoid those uh, on uh, on a repetitive manner. Okay, so Immanuel Kant mentioned that we are autonomous, we are self-regulating, and we are capable of making moral decisions by, for himself, dignity and worth. The most important thing here is the concept of dignity and worth. Okay, uh, we should not allow other person to tarnish our dignity and worth because we are a human person. That is the main point there. We have dignity and we have this self-worth because we are a human person. A PWD, for example, or an amputated man does not make him or her a lesser person because of such disability. Okay, he or she is still a person. So we need to protect that dignity and worth. Also, we are self-regulating. We are capable of controlling and deciding what actions we should take. We have this will and the power or power and opportunity to choose what's best for us. Okay? And since we are capable of making moral decisions, we are capable also of reflecting what will be the consequences of the decision that we will choose. Okay, that is the main difference of man to animal. Okay, our ability to think, our ability to rationalize on things. According to Viktor Frankl, we live and die for our values and ideals. Okay, so we've witnessed our heroes, we've witnessed some prominent personalities who've sacrificed a lot just to protect their values and ideas they believed in for a long period of time. Also, if you remember, we have one activity in which you are asked to write your philosophy in life. That philosophy is your guiding principle or your compass to follow in attaining your goals and dreams in life. So, with that in mind, Viktor Frankl mentioned that uh, we must always do everything that we can just to protect our values and ideals because again that is what makes our essence. Okay, um, according to Eric Fromm, we have this conscience to know what is to be done and to know ourselves. So when we know that we have conscience, it's as if that we always have a second thought of every action, especially critical action that we must follow. Doesn't necessarily mean that we have the second voice that dictates what should be done, but we have this self-regulating skill to know and to control what are the things to be followed and what are the things to be avoided. And with that, if we have our conscience with us or attached with us, according to Eric Fromm, we know ourselves better. Okay. Now, among these philosophers, uh, the most prominent is Saint Thomas Aquinas. He was an angelic doctor, and he was the patron saint of educators. And he had a lot of writings and documents with regards to the existence of God and the existence of human being in this world. He tried to explain it using or combining scientific reasoning and Christian teachings. Okay, so according to him, he also had the idea of conscience. Okay, because of conscience or the existence of this reflective skill that humans do, they are capable of creating moral laws or moral rules that we should follow in order to guide us in our living. Okay, so all of these philosophers have their very important role in emphasizing the ethical dimension of man. Okay, so today the discussion has something to do about uh, the ethical side of human, which emphasizes, of course, ethics and morality. Okay, so we have here now most of the time ethics and morality are defined separately. Yes, it's true, but as we go along with our discussion today, with my video lecture, you will know the complexities of ethics and morality and their relationship. Okay, so to give us a formal definition, when we say ethics, we are referring to a branch of philosophy. It is a formal discipline under philosophy, which allows us to think philosophically about actions and making moral judgment. So to say morality is subsumed already in ethics. So it's as if that ethics is a big umbrella, no? And under it is morality. And then since we understand morality, we are capable of making moral judgment. And when we make moral judgment, that is the time that we create critical decisions which would benefit us and sometimes would affect other people. while morality is something that we reflect on about actions, conduct, and character in which we can have an impression if it is right or wrong or good and bad. So to give us also an in-depth difference between the two, when we say ethics, it is a formal reflection of different morals. So we have different morals to follow since we are a cultural being. We are influenced by so many factors out religion. We are also influenced by our cultural learnings, even social interaction from others, even scientific. We are um, guided by those factors. So in ethics, it is a careful analysis of different moral rules that we follow. And also, it is theoretical in nature. And most of the time, we heard different code of ethical conducts followed in different organizations or institutions. We have business ethics, professional ethics, or even professional ethics for teachers, for police, nurse, and other professions. So it's as if it is institutional, while morality is something that is subjective because it focuses on manner, character, proper behavior, and individual do as part of society. Okay, so an action done by an individual, whether bad or negative, on the other hand, it might be positive or acceptable, is interchanging, meaning we have a subjective understanding of the moral rules. An action might be uh, an action might be offending to me, but for you it is acceptable, and vice versa. Okay, so these are some of the examples of the moral rules that we follow: telling the truth, do not vandalize property, having courage, keeping our promises, not cheating at all, treating others as you want to be treated, do not judge, respect others. If you can observe, okay, um, these moral rules have no, generally and commonly, they have uh, no legal implications. Okay, they have no legal implications, but they are followed by all of us. Okay, but does not necessarily mean that these rules have no legal implication. It means that uh, we are not uh, we are not bound by the consequences if we fail to do this. Okay, there are instances that we are offended if most of these moral rules, okay, uh were committed. Okay, we are, for example, if someone lied to us, there is an impression, bad impression with us, no, depending on our relationship with other person. Okay, so to say morality can be a body of standards or principles derived from a code of conduct from a particular philosophy, religion, or culture. It can be derived from a standard that a person believes should be universal. So here, very flexible. We have a very flexible understanding of morality because it can be rooted from our philosophical understanding, the way we are raised within the family, the guiding principles within the family, religion, the different teachings and or spiritual or religious teachings of the church that we are belong, cultural, the interactions or the kind of behavior that we got from different social groups that we are into. Or, of course, it can be derived from standard that a person believes that should be universal or acceptable in a larger society. So in short, morality is very flexible and it can be subjective. Okay. Now, uh, these are some of the morality accepted in different cultures that we might uh, see as totally unacceptable. For example, cannibalism. Cannibalism is part of human practice or ritual, particularly in some tribes in South America, no? In Amazon forest. They do cannibalism as part of their worship and ritual. Blood sport, for particularly during the height of Roman Empire, wherein they've conducted a gladiator battle inside the Colosseum. Uh, they saw two individuals fighting for their life, fighting to death, okay, just to entertain people. Okay, also arranged marriage. There are instances that it is accepted in some societies. Uh, though in the Philippines, before the term of President Duterte ended, he signed a law prohibiting child marriage. But in other countries, they've considered as part of their culture as a man protecting a young girl, a younger girl or a younger woman. Extreme forms of public torture. Before, in the Philippines, in our history, we've witnessed these tortures, firing execution happened to Dr. Rizal, the guillotine, no, or the garrote, uh, as a form of punishment to Gumbursa. Okay, those are acceptable. So also, uh, another moral culture acceptable to some countries, particularly in Middle East countries or Islamic countries, is the FGM or female genital mutilation. There is a part of their genitals, particularly their clitoris, no, it is mutilated or it is removed for them to focus, no, on their husband and their role as a wife to them, and in cases a mother to their children. So you see, that's harsh, particularly to women. Okay, so but those are accepted behavior, accepted rituals from different cultures. Ethics, to say, it is where the theoretical rules is uh, seen and be part of our practical living. Okay, uh, ethical standards, okay, emerged from moral rules that we follow. So most of the time when we talk about ethical standards, we are referring to general accepted rules in the society. Okay, and sometimes ethics is based from scientific rules that a society follows. Okay, so these are the examples of ethical issues in our society that, of course, most of us would agree. Abortion, of course, killing an unborn, diba? Unborn child, the welfare of human being, the freedom, especially when we talk about illegal imprisonment, okay, or illegal detainment. When we talk about freedom, a right to resources or ability to acquire property, the the booming consumerism act of people. We always consume, we always think of ourselves just to provide our needs, but we never care of our environment. And even religious prejudice or our religious discrimination or our harsh treatment uh, to other people based on their belief. Most of religions today, world religions, have committed different crimes in order to protect their religion. And lastly, anthropocentrism, or making humans as the center of this world, meaning we are prioritizing ourselves alone and we do not care to our environment and to different species existing in this world. Okay, so these are some ethical issues that we follow. And I hope with this short video lecture, you had an idea now about the difference between ethics and morality and how they operate in our big and complicated society. Okay, so thank you for listening, everyone.